that, and it's a different story.
It must have been a little bit of a gamble. When do you bowl Marchant de Lange? He'd been so effective for you, removing both openers.
Couple of changes indeed for TKR, your boys, Sam.
Hey, good morning, Danny. Good morning to all our viewers. Just giving the youngsters an opportunity. Ali Khan gets another go just to make sure that he's in rhythm for that all-important semi-final clash. Pravin Tambi, well, he's made his way back into the playing 11 alongside Anderson, Phillip and Ahmed Django. The St. Kitts and Nevis Patriots, well, they've gone unchanged from their last match. And Danny, this really is an opportunity for the St. Kitts and Nevis Patriots players to leave an impression in this tournament. It hasn't gone the way they would have planned, obviously. They sit at the bottom of the table, but every time you step on the field, you have an opportunity to showcase your talent, your God-given talent. And that's the attitude that these players should go into this contest with. And this is the drift. This is that arm ball, that sort of carambol lat.
Just had to change on the charge. Had the
ball shaped back into him, and he was still trying to score through the offside against that movement.
Catch up with us. This is just pad, maybe. Do-do-do, the trumpet's playing already. Oh, the Lynn of Sunday morning.
Chris Lynn, this is what we've come to expect from him in T20 cricket. Good.
Oh dear. Oh dear. It's nice. That's on a good surface. That it might have kept low, but what's wrong with just bunting it straight down the ground with a nice full face?
There he goes. Short ball, big boundary.
Favourite little pocket. Does this rocket? Right there.
Oh, well.
So you have to take that risk.
Oh, Raza, lovely. Lovely in there, Polly.
Straight up in the air, and that's why it's tough.
Conventional right arm off spinner. It's always risky hitting across the line. In 2021.
What a dive. And all at the age of 48. Well, that is stunning.
Oh, invoice.
Players not being available.
Field, but he can still bowl very, very effectively. This is
Bat in this squad. Thweet, who was taken by the Talawas. On first instant,
another wrong and delivered, pitching perfectly outside off stump and spinning in.
So inconsistent. Short side of the boundary. Ramlin goes big. Hero maximum.
The turn with the wind towards the shorter end. And a hero maximum.
No, but delightful shot, and what he can bring and what he still brings to a front. Wicket. Darren Bravo. Has he got enough room? Yes, he has.
Didn't get the connection that he would have liked, and Darren Bravo completed.
হ্যালো বন্ধুরা, আজকের এই ভিডিওতে আপনাদেরকে দেখাবো যাদের চ্যানেলে 1000-এর উপরে সাবস্ক্রাইবার তারা কেন লাইক করতে পারছেন না, এটার সমাধান কি। গত কিছুদিন আগে এই কোশ্চেনটা আমার কাছ থেকে সব থেকে বেশি আসতেছে যে ভাইয়া চ্যানেলে 1000-এর বেশি সাবস্ক্রাইবার হয়ে গেছে, চ্যানেলে লাইভ স্ট্রিম অ্যানাবেল হয়ে গেছে, তারপরও লাইভ করতে পারতেছি না। তো এই সমস্যাটার সমাধান নিয়ে আজকের ভিডিওতে আপনাদের সাথে চলে আসছি, তাই পুরো ভিডিওটা কন্টিনিউ করতে থাকেন। ভিডিও শুরু করার আগে যে কথা না বললে না, আপনি যদি আমার চ্যানেলে নতুন এসে থাকেন তাহলে এখনই চ্যানেলটা সাবস্ক্রাইব করে বেল আইকন অন করে দিন পরবর্তী ভিডিওর নোটিফিকেশন পাওয়ার জন্য। চলুন শুরু করা যাক। একটা চ্যানেলে লাইভ স্ট্রিম এনাবেল হইতে হলে আমরা প্রত্যেকেই জানি 1000 সাবস্ক্রাইবার থাকা লাগে। যখন আপনার চ্যানেলে 1000 সাবস্ক্রাইবার কমপ্লিট হয়ে যাবে তখন খুব তাড়াতাড়ি ইউটিউব আপনার চ্যানেলে লাইভ স্ট্রিম এনাবেল করে দিবে। যখন আপনার চ্যানেলে লাইভ স্ট্রিম এনাবেল হয়ে যাবে তখন কিন্তু আপনি খুব সহজে সেখান থেকে লাইভে যাইতে পারবেন, আপনার অডিয়েন্সের সাথে লাইভে আপনি লাইভ করতে পারবেন। সো এই সিস্টেমটা অনেকের আসতেছে না, বর্তমানে ইউটিউবের মিস্টেক চলতেছে, কিছু কিছু সমস্যা হচ্ছে, আমি দেখতেছি অনেক সমস্যা রয়েছে। তো তারপরেও আসলে যাদের চ্যানেলে 1000 সাবস্ক্রাইবার কমপ্লিট হয়ে গেছে তারা কিভাবে এনাবেল করবেন বা লাইভ স্ট্রিমিংটা চালু করবেন সেটা এখন আপনাদেরকে দেখাবো, সরাসরি মোবাইল স্ক্রিন দিয়ে দেখাবো যাতে প্রত্যেকেই কাজটা করতে পারেন। লাইভ স্ট্রিম এনেবল করার জন্য আমরা সরাসরি ইউটিউবের সাথে কন্ট্যাক্ট করব, তাদেরকে আমরা জানাই দিব যে আমাদের চ্যানেলে সাবস্ক্রাইবার এত হয়েছে কিন্তু আমরা লাইভ স্ট্রিমিং করতে পারতেছি না, আপনারা এটা দেখে খুব তাড়াতাড়ি এটার সমাধান করে দিন। ইউটিউব টিম এটা রিভিউ করবে এবং আমাদের চ্যানেলে লাইভ স্ট্রিমিংটা এনেবল করে দিবে। এটা করার জন্য আমরা সরাসরি যে ইউটিউব অ্যাপ্লিকেশন দেখতে পাচ্ছেন, আমরা সরাসরি ইউটিউব অ্যাপ্লিকেশনের ভিতরে চলে যাব। ইউটিউব অ্যাপ্লিকেশনে যাওয়ার পরে উপরে দেখতে পাচ্ছেন ডান পাশে কর্নারে এখানে লোগো রয়েছে, আমরা এখান থেকে সরাসরি লোগোতে ক্লিক করে দিব। যখন আমরা এখানে লোগোতে ক্লিক করে দিব একদম নিচে দেখতে পাচ্ছেন হেল্প অ্যান্ড ফিডব্যাক একটা অপশন রয়েছে, আমরা সরাসরি এখান থেকে হেল্প অ্যান্ড ফিডব্যাকের পরে ক্লিক করে দিব। হেল্প অ্যান্ড ফিডব্যাকে ক্লিক করে দেওয়ার পর উপরে এখানে দেখতে পাচ্ছেন সেন্ড ফিডব্যাক একটা অপশন রয়েছে, আমরা এখান থেকে সেন্ড ফিডব্যাকের পরে একটা ক্লিক করে দিব। যখন আমরা এখানে সেন্ড ফিডব্যাকে ক্লিক করে দিব তখন এরকম ইন্টারফেস চলে আসবে, উপরে আমাদের এখানে প্রাইমারি ইমেইলটা চলে আসবে ইউটিউব অ্যাকাউন্টের। এটা দেখার দরকার নেই, এখানে নিচে দেখতে পাচ্ছেন স্ক্রিনশট এবং এখানে রয়েছে সিস্টেম লগ, এখানে দুইটাতে টিক মার্ক রয়েছে, আমরা এই দুইটা টিক মার্ক এখান থেকে উঠাই দিব। এখান থেকে দুইটা টিক মার্ক উঠাই দিলাম।
যখন আমার অন্তরে ছিলে মনের ভিতরে, মন কঠোরে বাঁধিয়া রেখেছিলাম তোমারে, বলতে তুমি আমারে জাত সোনা পাখিরে, যাব না তো ছাড়িয়া কখনো তোমারে, স্বপ্ন ছিল হৃদয় মাঝে যখন আমার অন্তরে ছিলে মনের ভিতরে, মন কঠোরে বাঁধিয়া রেখেছিলাম তোমারে, বলতে তুমি আমারে জাত সোনা পাখিরে, যাব না তো ছাড়িয়া কখনো তোমারে, স্বপ্ন ছিল হৃদয় মাঝে।
Runs. They're the only team with Ruston Chase. I think he's in the 170s. So they've got some work to do. Danny Morrison would term it otherwise, but Rakeem Cornwall is back. Jimbo, good to see you. And of course Mark Dial, who played well in that last game, getting into the 40s.
Yeah, Fidel Edwards back into the team. Missed out in the last one, rested. Want to get to his rhythm. Of course, the semi-finals being played at this very venue. A huge disparity between these two gentlemen, Rakeem Cornwall and Mark Dale. Just some final preparations as we get set for this, the final league match of the Heroes CPL 2020.
Lovely St. Lucia. Of course, in the west of the islands, you have the Petons, Gros Peton, Petit Peton. And if you go north of the island, you get to Rodney Bay, Castries, Grossy. You go inland, you have the dense forest where you can go zip lining. Wonderful beaches in that part. Zooks have been the most improved team this year compared to last season. Our match partner today, amongst others, in the event. How significant is the communication between Mark Dial and the team beaches in that part of the power play, given I suppose that the nature of the improved team this year compared to a ball hitter last season, rather than a sharp runner between the wickets. Our match partner today, amongst others,
Mark Dial,
in the event.
Good score in the last match, so he'll be full of confidence. And you're right, I'm not too sure how many
significant
times these two
the communication between Mark Dial and the team beaches in that part of power play. Given I suppose that the nature of the improved team this year compared to a ball hitter rather than a sharp runner between the wickets. Match partner today, amongst others,
Good score in the last match, so he'll be full of confidence.
and has to make the adaptation right.
Not too sure how many times we have our strengths as players.
The communication between Mark Dial and the team coaches, batting in the power play.
You must be aware of the strengths and
I still said the nature of the game team on all of this year compared to ball bats rather
between the
than
wickets,
the
so
sharp
all that those
relationships.
relationships. So
Match partners
interested to see how he deals with cognizance of the fact that we know what we can expect in the last position as well, and has to make the adaptation right for boundaries. So how many times we can have our strengths as players, phenomenal. Environment. So that's a bit of a concern.
nature of the game
Staff, but once you're controlled, there for any length of time, you know what you're going to get. You're going to get interested to see how he deals sometimes strategy. You know what we can expect in the last position as challenge has to stay there for that length of time. So many times we can have our strengths as players, phenomenal. Rampaging down, waiting to stare at him. So that's a bit of a concern. The nature of the game staff, but once you're controlled, there for any length of time, you know what you're going to get. You're going to get interested to see how he deals sometimes strategy. You know what we can expect in the last position as challenge has to stay there for that length of time. So many times we can have our strengths as players, phenomenal. Rampaging down, waiting to stare at him. That's a bit of a concern. So it's a good change up here from Fidel. Rapid. You just see him peeping on that front foot. Perhaps expecting a full one. So keep him guessing, Fidel. Good start. Good pace. Good carry. It's a good strip here. And let's see how he will respond now. Maybe he pushed him back to bowl that full delivery.
Played. You see, and that's what I'm talking about right there. Now that has gone to Blackwood's left. Usually Mark Dial should have been tearing down the other end to turn the strike over. That should have been a single. So that's the sort of change. There goes Mark Dial, but then he realizes he has to turn back. Take that chance and pitch up at Cornwall. Risk reward. Carlos Brathwaite, tall man at mid-off.
I just sensed that he was just pushing him back. That was with the previous two deliveries, setting him up for this exact delivery. Look at that swing. And a slip in place as well. So good smart bowling from Fidel Edwards. The experience coming to the fore. Of course, the St. Lucia Zooks haven't made it to the top four since 2016. Only once in their Hero CPL campaign have they made it in the top four. And this is the 8th edition. The 2020 has been a strange year.
I like this from Fidel Edwards. I really do. And even though Cornwall, if he hits to the leg side, it'll be with the wind to a short boundary. I think it's worth the hustle. 38-year-old Fidel Edwards, my goodness.
Yeah, that was quick. He was nowhere near playing that ball, Rakeem Cornwall. Andrew Russell, he's enjoying this. Some good fire here at the Brian Lara Cricket Academy.
Top of off, top of off. Don't overpitch, top of off. Oh, don't go there. Jimbo's just sat on that and caressed it down the ground. You go, Rakeem.
Talk about it being a batsman's game. You just miss your length, and this is what happens. So, on the back of 4 really good deliveries from Fidel Edwards, just is marginally. And Rakeem Cornwall, while he says thank you very much, final delivery in the over. He'd want to close this off. Fidel Edwards. Rakeem Cornwall, on the other hand, might just be searching for another boundary.
Dre Ross backpedaling and does not judge it and palms it into the boundary. That is where you can tell his lack of fitness. He was hobbling, never got into position 8 without loss. Fidel Edwards cannot believe it. Hands on hips still. 2 minutes later. No position. You're talking about a guy who, when fit, is a phenomenal athlete, could not get there. Not moving freely. As much excitement as we've had all day in the space of 6 balls.
Yeah, very eventful, that first over. The last delivery of that over. It should have been a wicket. Misjudged it there by Andrew Russell. He should have ran back and get in that drop zone as quickly as possible. And to add insult to injury, he palmed it across the boundary for 4. So 2 boundaries in that first over from Rakeem Cornwall and the St. Lucia Zooks. And spin being introduced. Spin of Rasami Permall. So Mark Dial, he might just like this, hitting towards the short end, hitting with the turn.
Or down the ground. Straight. Lovely shot from Mark Dial.
Yes, a really good shot because of the direction of the hit. He was hitting straight. He wasn't going across the line. So just presenting the full face of the bat and through the line of the ball. A couple bounces into the boundary. So that will do 1 bounce actually. His confidence, a will of good first delivery. Remember.
No single. And that's why DL has to change his game. Dre Ross was hobbling in from the edge of a circle.
Here we go, fella. Yes, Permy, yes, Permy.
One of the things with that catch, Sammy, one of the techniques I always heard the great Beverages talk about, an excellent fielder, is to turn in a halfway side-on position, not backpedaling. So you're not going back this way. You're in a half sideways position, eye on the ball, shoulder, left shoulder away from the ball, and you're going back this way, not moving backwards. That allows you, 1, to keep your eye on the ball, but to move quicker.
Yeah, if you just look at that movement from Andrew Russell, he was backpedaling. So he would not have gotten the distance that he wanted to get in that drop zone quickly enough. And he was always moving whilst the ball was coming down towards him. And once you're moving, that eyes, it's always going to be difficult.
Yes, for us.
13 without loss.
So what are you going to see with this pair? Boundaries and dot balls. Not going to see lots of singles and rotation of the strike. 4 changes for the Talawas, 3 changes for the Zooks. Just confirmation of the changes made to both these teams as they still strive to get their best 11. Of course, a few players been rested just to keep them fresh. Yeah, Andrew Russell almost needed a side shuffle as opposed to that back pedal, and he will know the importance of that wicket, that Rakeem Cornwall wicket. Rakeem Cornwall likes the Jamaica Talawas, remember that. He likes scoring against them.
Yeah, he got 75 and 51 against them in the 2 games last season. He was on fire with Fletcher at Sabina Park in particular. Good single, which means we've put the kiss of death on him and he'll be dismissed in this over. But this is where he was so good hitting through. That was a superb pitch as well, I have to say. Sabina Park last season was brilliant. Just hitting through the line, as is his wont. Love it when the big man catches fire. Change in the field. Dre Ross has gone back to long on. Phenomenal strike rate last season. Chance of 2, no chance of 2 there.
Yeah, going on the leg side. But in addition to the boundary hitting, you'll need to find a way to rotate the strike. And McDill, I'm not too sure how often he would have faced this sort of pace from Fidel Edwards, so it's a test for him, a challenge for him. He likes to get on with it, but again, an opportunity at the top. Coming off a 14 the last match of 33 deliveries. Just make use of these opportunities.
It's a good point, actually. Fastest deliveries, FedEx fastest deliveries of Hero CPL. Fidel Edwards at 38 is right up there. O'Shane Thomas, he's out. Sped O'Shane, who's almost half his age. Remarkable. I go to the gym late at night. Fidel's in there on his own, doing his work. Great example. Tell you a story, Samuel. You would have been too young, but when I made my first class debut, the year that I made my first class debut in 1987, I played with Mark Dial's dad, Dionarine Dial, who was a phenomenally proficient batsman at domestic level in Trinidad. He played against Guyana that season. I think he got a half century in the first game, and then he had the shock of his life when he went to Kensington Oval to face Barbados. It was his first season and his last, simply because of the uplift in the tempo of pace bowling that he faced then, and it would have shocked a lot of us. I remember sitting there in absolute shock, watching some of the greatest fast bowlers the world has ever seen tearing at Kensington Oval. So, man, that was an experience. So for young Dial, shorter format, Malcolm Marshall, you can think of one piece of that. Of course, Joel Garner.
Carlos has to contribute, has to come to the party. Wonderful view here from the El Dorado Sky Cam of this magnificent facility, the Brian Lara Cricket Academy. We've heaped praises incessantly about this facility, and quite rightly so. We've seen the drainage, we understand the potential of this venue. So much more can be done here for the development not only of Trinidad and Tobago cricket but West Indies cricket.
That could be safe. It's one of the drawbacks of not having the fine leg within the power play and using the short ball. 17 without loss.
Mark Dial, we're talking about his opportunity here, Bish. Given that chance at the top, they've opened, like we mentioned before, with Andre Fletcher and Raheem Cornwall. They've sort of lengthened their batting by putting Fletcher at that number 3 position. So it means Mark Dial, barring some unlikely event, will also open in that semi-final clash. So it's a great opportunity at a great level, a great stage for Mark Dial to really showcase his talent. He's done it in bits and patches, but want to see it for a longer time. Much extended period of time. So if he can get a half century under his belt, like I mentioned, he got a 40 in the last match, but an opportunity here to get a half century. Mujib, the new bowler, has been a wicket taker, but not so in the last 3 matches. He's gone wicketless, and that has been a concern for the Talawas.
In the gap and 4.
Yeah, he picked the length quickly here, Mark Dial. A little bit short, on the shorter side from Mujib, and hitting with the wind towards the short side. Good connection, good placement from Mark Dial. His second boundary in this innings.
Wait. Okay. Here we are, Muji. Oh, Lovely there, Dad. Beautiful there, Muj.
Very well bowled. One of the key things for batting units today is not to leave any runs out there. Very good last delivery, googly from Mujib.
Down.
Lovely touch.
Turn up.
I think Robin Powell alluded to the fact yesterday that only 1 wicket between his 2 primary spinners was something he wanted done better today.
And when they started this tournament, Mujib was regularly taking wickets and showed the potency of this Jamaica Talawas bowling lineup. Not so in the last 3 games, and hence the results. Yeah! Caught behind, edged. Might have been a googly once again from Mujib. And we spoke about wicket taking. Well, he's back at it. His first wicket in 3 matches.
Yep, definitely the googly went away from him. And Robin Powell will be hoping this is the beginning of more wicket-taking presence from Mujib and later on Sandy. Dial goes for 13, 25 for 1.
Bowling change left arm wrong.
Andre Fletcher.
And this is the reason why the Spiceman is here. Googly, well bowled, good line, just enough turn to get that edge, and he'll enjoy that. He's a wicket taker, loves getting those wickets, and that's an early good sign for the Jamaica Talawas. The Sammy Pumol switches ends.
Excellent stop. that had 4 written all over it. Alex Jordan, where are you?
Here I am on the sideline. Well, you know it's a St. Lucia Zooks home game, and they've got a wonderful initiative going on. I'm here with Captain St. Lucia himself, Darren Sammy. And in light of the COVID period, Darren Sammy, of course, many students having to learn online, and many students in need in St. Lucia not having that equipment, Indibet has got a wonderful initiative.
Yes, they have, and I think that's the first time, as a franchise, we getting that sort of opportunity for them to give something back to the people of St. Lucia. And I want to big up our sponsors in the bet. Like you said, with the COVID situation, with school starting on Monday and everything is part face-to-face, part virtual. So I think the initiative to help the Ministry of Education, and donating those laptops to those kids in need will go a long way.
Let me just clarify, for every boundary, for every 6, for every wicket taken by the Zooks, money will be donated by Indibet to the Ministry of Education in St. Lucia. And I know this really strikes your fancy because your foundation has done similarly.
Yes, earlier this year, my annual Back to School scholarship grant partnered with Digicel. We gave away 32 laptops to students in need, and also we gave them a scholarship grant, financial support, because it's tough, and I remember Roger Harper once said to me, to whom much is given, much is expected. And the sponsors, together with those who have, especially in those times, it's important that we show the love to the people who really need.
Well, it's totally inspiring, and Ian Bishop and I discussed this morning just what cricket brings to people who don't have access, who are not wealthy people, and here Indibet now bringing laptops to the children of St. Lucia. Tell me something about that gorgeous new kit, Sammy.
I'm actually loving it. I don't know, the previous owners didn't like the blue, so they went to yellow. But I think the true St. Lucian fans, they love the blue. My phone been ringing, everybody's phone, everybody wants a blue uniform. So hopefully that could bring a change in fortune for us, true St. Lucian colors, and like we could go out. Helen of the West. The most beautiful island in the Caribbean, and I say that very proudly. Voted